here with the full report. Investigative reporter, Executive Vice President of the Hill, John Solomon. Why don't I just let you go through, first of all, explain to this audience how many documents we have and what these documents are and what you have gleaned from them.
Over the course of 18 months, I've gathered more than 450 pages of documents. These come from 4 sources: the State Department, the Ukraine Prosecutor General's office, the Ukraine Embassy in Washington, D.C., and the legal team representing Burisma during the time that Hunter Biden was employed as a board member and consultant at that natural gas company in Ukraine. So that is the body of documents. These documents show, as I report tonight for the first time, that the very day that Joe Biden managed to get that Ukraine prosecutor, Mr. Shokin, fired, that very day, his son's company's lawyers, the American lawyers helping Hunter Biden's Burisma company try to fight this investigation, were trying urgently to reach the new prosecutor, the replacement prosecutor. 1 week later, they managed to get that meeting. They're in Ukraine less than a week after Biden fires the prosecutor. And in that meeting, according to the official record of the meeting from the prosecutors, the lawyers for Hunter Biden's company and the lobbyists for Hunter Biden's company stated to the replacement prosecutor, "We know that the information calling Mr. Shokin corrupt and inept was, quote, false information," close quote, distributed by U.S. government officials and other figures. We are sorry for that. We would like to make this up to you by bringing you to Washington or connecting you with the Obama administration officials so you can tell them the true story, that you did have a legitimate investigation against Burisma and you were not corrupt and you had instigated numerous reforms. That is the official record of the meeting Ukrainian prosecutors kept. A few days later, Hunter Biden's American lawyers, the lawyers representing Hunter Biden's company, Burisma, sent a follow-up email trying to make good on their promise to bring these new prosecutors to Washington to explain the dirty tricks campaign that had been run against Mr. Shokin and to clear the air. If Joe Biden forced the firing of this prosecutor on the grounds that he was corrupt, and Hunter Biden's lawyers go and say that was false information, somebody's not telling the truth. We need to get to the bottom of that.
I want to. This is important here because what you're outlining here are facts. You have documents to back all this up. You have 450
I posted
of them.
The documents. People can go read the documents.
Okay.
Yes.
Burisma American legal reps met with Ukrainian officials days after Biden forced the firing of the chief prosecutor. You interviewed the chief prosecutor. The chief prosecutor told you, told ABC, told the Washington Post. And by the way, it's obvious. In 6 hours, fire the guy, or I'm taking $1 billion home. Oh, son of a bee, they fired him. Why would a Vice President, John Solomon, of the United States of America want a prosecutor in Ukraine fired?
Listen, it's an internal matter, right? And corruption's been endemic to Ukraine. Why was this a 6-hour urgency? Lots of questions. But let's go to something that's new today, Sean. Tonight, I posted for the first time a sworn affidavit obtained by lawyers for a Ukrainian oligarch. It's about to be introduced in a court in Europe. It's from Mr. Shokin, the man who was fired, the prosecutor I interviewed, the Washington Post interviewed, ABC interviewed. In that statement, Mr. Shokin swears under oath he was told he was fired because he refused to drop the Burisma investigation, and it made Mr. Biden, the vice president, unhappy. We have to find out who's telling the truth. This is at the core of the credibility of our United States government. Either Joe Biden's telling the truth, or the prosecutors in these memos and Hunter Biden's legal team are not telling the truth. We have to find out which one is, because it matters to American sovereignty.
Is it a true statement that, like with the Russia conspiracy hoax and lies, that the boomerang was in effect, that the only Russian interference would be Hillary's dirty dossier, that everything they've accused Trump of that he didn't do, basically they did do? Is that pretty similar here?
Well, listen, I think a lot of people look at this evidence. I'm going to stay neutral, but a lot of people I talk to say it looks like the Democrats are projecting on Donald Trump what they actually did themselves in Eastern Europe. But let's look at something that I think is very, very important as we go through this narrative. There is an enormous body of documents, on the record statements from Ukraine authorities that these issues occurred, that they have proof that they occurred. I have the Ukraine embassy emails. I have Hunter Biden's legal team's emails. I have the prosecutor Prosecutor General's official memos. These are real documents. Where are Joe Biden's documents? Let's put forth the proof from Joe Biden that he really thought this guy was corrupt and he had the evidence. He has not done that.
Well, I don't think it's possible. Now, we're going to have you back tomorrow, and we're going to get into even more detail. You've been busy at this all day. This is only the beginning of 450 some odd pages. John Solomon, thank you.